Hey everyone, welcome to Movie Marathons HQ, where we do movie marathons connected to new releases and where we enjoy and review some of our favorite movies. This video is part of the Knives Out movie marathon, where we are watching one movie every week from Knives Out as we prepare for the release of Wake Up Dead Man, a Knives Out mystery, which is releasing in theaters on November 26th and on Netflix on December 13th. Today we are discussing Glass Onion, a Knives Out mystery. Released in 2022 and directed again by Rian Johnson, this is the second time we have seen Detective Benoit Blanc as he uncovers the unusual circumstances behind a death. This time he's joined by a new group of characters on a private island. Overall, I love this movie too. Like the first Knives Out, Glass Onion is a lot of fun. It's quite different from Knives Out though, as we'll get into as we discuss some of the positives and negatives. And that makes me curious if Wake Up Dead Man will be also a departure from these first two Knives Out movies. But there's a lot to like here, a lot of similarities, but as I said, a lot of differences. So Glass Onion kind of stands on its own as the second installment in this series, but another adventure of Detective Benoit Blanc. For positives, there is Benoit Blanc himself, the ensemble cast, the score, and some elements of the plot and the mystery. For negatives, there is a spoilery negative that I'll want to share, which has to do with the trope. So we'll get into that there. Spoilers ahead for this movie, although I will not spoil Wake Up Dead Man when that releases and when I share my review there. So that will be a spoiler-free review. Glass Onion will have spoilers in this review. The first positive is again Benoit Blanc, played by Daniel Craig. He's a lot of fun. We see him kind of in a different element. In Knives Out, we saw him hired by an unknown person, and then he comes to kind of figure out what's going on behind this murder. At the beginning of Knives Out, there's a murder, and then he comes to solve it, and then that movie goes on to do what it does. In Glass Onion, we find out later, but he knows who hired him and he knows the circumstances. But in this movie, there's not a murder at the beginning that we are, as the audience, trying to find out. We're kind of just following this group of characters when later a murder is committed. And so Benoit Blanc is on the case as the murder happens, and it kind of reveals other murders that have taken place. So it's very different there. Daniel Craig is still so much fun. He chews the scenery so much, and he's got an amazing bathing costume, which you can see in the thumbnail for these two movies and for the next one, that I had a lot of fun making. But Benoit Blanc is just such a fun character, and Daniel Craig seems to just revel in the experience of playing him, so he's a lot of fun in Glass Onion. The next positive is the ensemble cast. Like in Knives Out, Glass Onion has a stacked cast. Alongside Daniel Craig, we have Kate Hudson, we have Janelle Monáe, we have Edward Norton, Jessica Henwick, Dave Bautista, Leslie Odom Jr., and Catherine Hahn. We also have some little cameos from some well-known and less well-known actors, but boy, it's a lot of fun and a great cast. They all have really unique characters. I think Janelle Monáe and Kate Hudson were the standouts, but really unique characters. You understand who they are, and as the movie develops, you understand more backstory and more reasons for why they are the way that they are. But yeah, Glass Onion is also a lot of fun, and the ensemble cast is another positive there as we get to explore them in this movie. The next positive is the score. I had mentioned the score in Knives Out as a positive, and it's a really unique score in that movie. In Glass Onion, the score is composed by Nathan Johnson, and it's very different. This one felt to me, and pardon the connection, but it felt more like a James Bond score. So it's very cinematic and moving and sweeping and orchestral, whereas Knives Out was like heavy staccato violin, almost aggressive type of score. So Glass Onion is a positive score, but very different. Then at the end, they do bring in the staccato violins, and it's a really nice connection to Knives Out. So it's a really enjoyable score as well. And another positive is the mystery. So other than a trope, which I'll get into in a negative, the mystery here is pretty fun. It's one person has committed a murder and nobody else knows, but then it is discovered during their time together, during the runtime of the movie, that a murder was committed, but only certain characters know that. And so then it kind of gets revealed little by little. And then another murder is committed on the night against the person who found out about the first murder. So it does kind of build on itself. Again, I was able to follow this. I'm not great at guessing movie mysteries and plots as I'm watching, but I was able to follow this one and had a lot of fun. So I think the mystery here is a very different setup than Knives Out, but still a lot of fun here. Now, how might Glass Onion connect to Wake Up Dead Man? So like Knives Out to Glass Onion, the recurring theme would just be it's Benoit Blanc again for another mystery. However, there are two things in Glass Onion that could connect to Wake Up Dead Man. So first, in Glass Onion, there's a joke about Jeremy Renner's small batch hot sauce, which the characters use, and they even use it as a prop in a kind of misdirect. But Jeremy Renner, the actor, is in Wake Up Dead Man. So at least Benoit Blanc will have tried a hot sauce that on the bottle has Jeremy Renner's face, and then in Wake Up Dead Man, he will see a face that looks just like actor Jeremy Renner. Presumably Jeremy Renner's not playing himself, but that is kind of a funny connection. I wonder if they will reference that. Second, actor Noah Segan has appeared in both of these Knives Out movies as different characters. In Knives Out, he was Trooper Wagner, and in this one, he's Daryl, so he will probably be a new character in Wake Up Dead Man. So that's my review of Glass Onion, a Knives Out mystery. What do you think of this movie, and how do you think it may connect to Wake Up Dead Man, a Knives Out mystery? Make sure to let me know in the comments. Follow Movie Marathons HQ on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, and also on Letterboxd, where you can see all of the movie marathons we have going right now. The next movie in this marathon is the final one, which is Wake Up Dead Man, a Knives Out mystery, releasing in theaters in November and on Netflix in December. See you at the movies.